You close your eyes, and in the quiet, there is a rhythm. Tick, tock, tick, tock. The sound of a clock is so familiar, so steady, it feels like the heartbeat of the world itself. Each tick marks a second, each tock a reminder that time is moving forward, gently and unceasingly. You trust this rhythm, the way you trust your own breath. It is comforting to believe that time is absolute, that its steady beat belongs to everyone equally, everywhere. But the truth, as soft and surprising as a whisper in the night, is that time is not as steady as it seems. The pulse of a clock is not universal. It bends. It stretches. It breathes differently depending on where it is and how it moves. And tonight, as you sink deeper into this story, you will discover that even the simplest clock has secrets to tell. Imagine holding a pocket watch in your hand. Its hands circle slowly, tracing the hours, while inside, a tiny mechanism beats like a miniature heart. You trust that every second it counts is the same as the second on a wall clock across the room. You believe it must be so. After all, isn't time one great river that flows for all alike? But if you place this watch aboard a plane high above the earth, it will no longer keep perfect pace with its twin resting in your hand. If you place it on a mountain peak, closer to the stars, it will tick differently than one by the sea. If you send it far into space, traveling at great speed, it will drift further still. Clocks, though built the same, begin to disagree. This idea feels almost impossible at first, like a trick of the mind. But it is not a trick. It is the gentle proof that time itself is woven into space, stretched and curved by motion and by gravity. What you think of as one universal rhythm is, in truth, a personal one. Each clock lives its own story of time. Listen again to the tick of a clock. Tick, tock. Imagine that rhythm carrying you into sleep. Now picture two clocks, side by side, ticking together. Their sounds merge like two voices in harmony. But if one clock travels, across the sky, or into orbit, it returns with a slightly different song. Its ticks no longer match perfectly. One voice lingers behind, the other moves ahead. Both are still true, but no longer the same. This difference is called time dilation, and though it sounds like something vast and technical, it is really quite tender. Dilation simply means stretching. Time, under certain conditions, stretches. It does not break. It does not rush forward or halt abruptly. It simply loosens its hold, allowing some moments to unfold more slowly than others. Think of blowing on a soap bubble. Its roundness grows, expands, stretches wider. Nothing is destroyed, nothing is lost, it simply changes shape. So it is with time. When touched by speed or gravity, it stretches. Now imagine yourself floating gently in space. There is no sound, only the steady rhythm of your own heartbeat, echoing like a private clock inside your chest. Far away, Earth spins quietly below, wrapped in clouds and oceans. You carry a small watch, ticking softly against your suit. To you, it seems ordinary, steady, unchanged. Yet to someone watching you from Earth, the watch appears to tick more slowly. Your seconds pass differently than theirs. This is not an illusion. It is a truth written into the structure of the cosmos. Your time, personal and intimate, is not the same as theirs. And neither is wrong. Time is not one river flowing the same for all, but many streams, branching and curling, shaped by where you are and how you move. Even your body, as you rest here listening, is a kind of clock. Your pulse, your breath, your thoughts drifting like clouds, all are rhythms of time. And these rhythms, too, are shaped by the world around you. Clocks are not only the devices on our walls or in our pockets. They are everywhere, in atoms, in stars, in you. When you hear the word relativity, you might think it belongs to complicated books or distant laboratories. But at its heart, relativity is simple. It tells us that time is personal. That no one owns the master clock of the universe. That your seconds and mine may not align, but both are equally real. This knowledge is both humbling and comforting. Humbling, because it reminds you that the universe is stranger than it first appears. Comforting, because it shows that your experience, your unique rhythm of time, is valid. You are not out of step. You are simply moving along your own path, guided by the quiet pulse of your own clock. As you lie here, drifting deeper into calm, let yourself imagine the great variety of clocks across the cosmos. An atomic clock ticking high above the Earth in a satellite. A star pulsing with light thousands of years away. A tiny electron spinning in the quiet of an atom. Each has its own rhythm, its own tempo. The universe is not a single drumbeat, but a symphony of countless rhythms, each true, each beautiful. And perhaps, in this moment, you feel lighter knowing that time is not rigid but flexible. That it bends and breathes like the tides of an ocean. That when clocks disagree, it is not a failure but a truth, proof that you live in a universe vast and alive, where even seconds have stories. Your eyelids grow heavy. The clock beside your bed ticks softly, steady and familiar. Yet now you know that this rhythm is not the only one. High above you, satellites keep their own gentle beats. Deep in space, traveling craft carry time differently still. Somewhere, another clock ticks, not in opposition to yours, but in harmony with its own path. As sleep gathers around you, you hold on to this thought: time is not absolute, but relative. And this is not chaos, but beauty. A quiet truth humming beneath the stars. And when you wonder what it means, why clocks disagree in space, why time flows differently for travelers and watchers alike, you are ready to step further into the mystery. For tonight's journey is only beginning. The clock ticks again. Tick, tock. A steady pulse, carrying you softly toward the next chapter. You imagine yourself in a quiet room, where a single beam of light shines through a window. Dust floats in its path, tiny specks glimmering like stars. The light does not hurry, and it does not lag. It travels steadily, unwavering, as though it knows its purpose. To your eyes, it is gentle and immediate. But to the universe, it is the fastest thing possible, the very rhythm that sets the pace of time itself. Light has a strange quality. No matter how quickly you move toward it or away from it, its speed never changes. It always comes to you at the same pace, about 300,000 kilometers every second. This constancy, so simple and yet so stubborn, reshapes everything we believe about motion, space, and time. It is the reluctant dance of light that makes time dilation possible. Imagine holding a small mirror in your hand. Now place another mirror above it, perfectly parallel. Between them, you imagine a photon, a tiny packet of light, bouncing up and down. Each bounce marks a tick of this special clock, a light clock. The rhythm is simple: up, down, steady as breathing. If you remain still, watching the photon travel straight up and down, the clock ticks regularly. But if you begin to move, gliding smoothly through space, the photon no longer travels only up and down. To reach the top mirror, it must also trace a diagonal path, because the mirrors are moving along with you. Its journey becomes longer. The photon, still moving at the same constant speed, takes more time to complete each tick. And so the clock slows. This is the heart of time dilation. Light refuses to change its speed, so instead, time itself adjusts. The faster you move, the more stretched each tick of your light clock becomes. To you, the ticking feels the same. But to an observer outside your moving frame, the rhythm is slower. It is as if light insists on keeping its own rules, and the universe must bend around those rules to stay consistent. You close your eyes and picture yourself lying in a boat on a calm lake. If the boat drifts straight, your oar moves up and down easily. But if the boat drifts sideways while you row, your oar must cut diagonally through the water. Each stroke takes longer. The rhythm slows, though you still feel the water against your hand. Light is like this oar, always moving at the same speed, but forced to trace longer paths when motion enters the picture. Einstein built this thought experiment like a lullaby, repeating it softly in his mind until its rhythm revealed a new truth: time itself is not rigid. It is flexible, elastic, bending gently to preserve the constancy of light. Think of how strange this is. If you travel at great speed, faster and faster, time slows for you compared to those who remain still. But to you, nothing feels unusual. Your heartbeat is the same. Your thoughts drift as always. It is only when compared to others that the difference appears. This difference is not a flaw, but harmony. The universe balances itself so that the laws of physics remain the same for everyone, everywhere. Light's refusal to change its pace is not a stubborn flaw, but a graceful anchor. It holds steady, while time and space bend softly around it. You might imagine two friends standing apart in a quiet field at night. One shines a flashlight toward the other. The beam cuts through the air, reaching at the same speed no matter who moves, no matter how fast the wind blows. Both friends measure the same speed, though their motions differ. This is the strange dance. Light does not compromise, so everything else, distance, time, perception, rearranges itself to keep the balance. Now, take this thought higher. Picture astronauts floating in orbit around Earth. Their spacecraft moves swiftly, slicing through the black silence of space. Inside, a light clock ticks with calm precision. For the astronauts, its rhythm is normal. Yet to observers on Earth, the clock's ticks stretch longer. Time flows more slowly aboard the ship. This is not science fiction, but fact. Experiments with atomic clocks flown on jets, satellites, and rockets have proven it. The light clock's lesson is not a metaphor but a reality, one we quietly rely on every day. Even the GPS in your phone depends on corrections for time dilation. Without them, the maps you follow would quickly unravel, guiding you miles away from where you stand. Light's constancy, then, is not only a mystery but also a gift. It keeps the universe ordered, predictable, and navigable. At the same time, it reveals the deep strangeness of reality, that time itself is not universal. You lie back and imagine yourself as a traveler of light. Each second that passes for you might stretch into many for someone watching from afar. You are not speeding up time or slowing it down. Instead, you are weaving your own rhythm into the fabric of reality. Your seconds are yours, their seconds are theirs, and both are correct. There is comfort in this. You are not late. You are not early. You are always on time, your time. And yet, there is also wonder. If you could move close to the speed of light, a journey across galaxies might take only years to you, while millions of years pass elsewhere. Light guards its speed, and in doing so, it reshapes the very flow of history. Stars may rise and fall while you experience only the span of a lifetime. In this thought, there is both a lullaby and a mystery. A reminder that your perception of time, though steady and familiar, is only one thread in a vast tapestry. Others move differently. Other rhythms play. But together, they form the great music of relativity. As the chapter draws to a close, you picture again the beam of light through the window. Dust floats in its path, glowing like stars. The light does not waver. It does not change its speed for you, or for anyone. Instead, the universe bends gently around it, adjusting time itself, so that light's rhythm is always true. You rest in this thought as sleep draws nearer. Time is not broken when it stretches. It is whole, reshaping itself to hold the constancy of light. And tomorrow, when you follow this path deeper, you will see how a traveler's slow watch makes this mystery even more intimate. The light fades. The room grows still. You carry the rhythm with you as you drift softly onward. You imagine yourself aboard a quiet ship drifting through the dark ocean of space. The engines hum softly, not in a rush, but steady, like a heartbeat in the distance. Around you stretches silence, stars scattered like pale lanterns, galaxies shimmering faintly, as though the universe is holding its breath. On your wrist, a small watch ticks faithfully. Its hands circle in their endless dance, marking each second with certainty. You trust it the way you trust your own pulse. To you, its rhythm is unchanged, just as it was on Earth, just as it will be tomorrow. But far away, on the blue planet below, someone else is watching your journey. To their eyes, your watch ticks more slowly. The steady heartbeat of your time has softened, stretched, slowed. This is the quiet paradox of relativity. To you, nothing is different. To them, everything has changed. And somehow, both are true. You close your eyes and picture two perspectives. In your cabin, you sip warm tea, listening to the seconds pass as always. Each heartbeat, each blink, each breath, aligns with your watch. But on Earth, an observer sees the same seconds drifting more slowly. The watch on your wrist, though built the same as theirs, lingers. Its hands crawl, as though reluctant to move forward. It feels impossible, almost dreamlike, that two realities can exist together. But this is what time dilation tells us. Time is not one absolute rhythm, but many, each tied to a frame of motion. There is no master clock keeping the universe in order. There are only personal clocks, each living out its own truth. Imagine standing on a platform as a train rushes past. Through its window, you glimpse a clock fixed to the wall. To you, it seems to tick more slowly than your pocket watch. But to those riding the train, it is steady and normal. Both you and they are correct, because your frames of reference are different. Time itself reshapes to preserve harmony. This idea feels heavy at first, as though the ground beneath your feet is shifting. But listen closely, and you will hear that it is not chaos. It is music. Each clock is an instrument, playing in its own tempo, yet together they form a vast symphony of time. The universe is not out of tune, it is simply richer than you imagined. Now picture yourself writing a letter aboard your drifting ship. You take an hour, perhaps two, pausing often to look out the window at the stars. To you, those hours pass in the usual way. But by the time the letter reaches Earth, those who read it find that more hours, perhaps days, perhaps years, have passed for them than for you. You and they are not wrong, you are simply carried by different currents in the great river of time. This is the traveler's watch, slow, gentle, reluctant compared to the watch left behind. The effect is small when you move slowly. On an airplane, or in a car, the difference is barely measurable, though still real. But when you approach speeds near the speed of light, the change becomes profound. A journey that feels like 10 years to you might span centuries for those on Earth. The farther you travel, the greater the divide. Time, once thought universal, becomes personal. Einstein called this the relativity of time. He showed that your measure of seconds, minutes, and hours depends on how you move through space. To you, your own clock never falters. But compared to others, it drifts, creating differences that cannot be denied. Consider the image of two twins. One remains on Earth, while the other travels through space at great speed. When they meet again, the traveler has aged less. The twin on Earth carries more years in their body, while the other seems younger. Their watches, once aligned, no longer agree. This is not a fable, but a direct consequence of the traveler's slow watch. The thought is unsettling, yet there is also tenderness in it. Time is not lost. It is not stolen. It simply flows differently for each journey. Your seconds are yours to keep. Their seconds belong to them. Each is true, each is whole. And so you begin to see time not as one rigid river, but as many streams flowing side by side. Each stream moves at its own pace, shaped by speed and gravity, yet all streams belong to the same vast ocean of spacetime. You take a deep breath. You feel your own heart beating, another kind of clock. You feel your chest rising and falling, yet another rhythm. These measures of time belong only to you. They are part of your stream, your current. To compare them to another's is to glimpse a mystery, not a contradiction. The traveler's slow watch teaches us that the universe is both intimate and vast. Intimate, because time is personal, stitched into the fabric of your own journey. Vast, because every journey creates its own rhythm, and no single rhythm rules them all. Now let yourself drift deeper into this thought. Imagine the stars outside your window as silent witnesses. Each one burns with its own rhythm, its own pulse of light. If you were to travel toward one, your journey would bend time differently than if you traveled toward another. Each path writes its own story, each watch tells its own tale. And as you sink further into calm, you realize that this truth carries no fear. It does not steal from you. It does not erase your days. It simply reminds you that your time is yours, unique, personal, true. The hands of your watch circle once more. To you, it is a minute. To someone far away, it may be more, or less. But to the universe, it is harmony, each tick a note in a grand and quiet song. You close your eyes, the hum of the ship steady in your ears. The traveler's watch ticks beside you, faithful, steady, slow only to others. To you, it is perfect. And as you drift toward sleep, you hold on to this thought: there is no universal timekeeper. Each journey has its own clock. Each traveler carries their own rhythm. And together, they weave the fabric of spacetime. The watch ticks again. Soft, steady. Carrying you gently toward the next mystery, the way gravity itself can bend and stretch the hours, tugging at time as though it were thread. You close your eyes and imagine standing on the edge of a vast cliff. Beneath your feet, the earth pulls at you with its invisible strength. You cannot see gravity, but you feel it in your muscles, in the weight of your body, in the way your feet remain rooted to the ground. Gravity holds you tenderly but firmly, reminding you that you belong here, that you are not drifting away into the sky. What you may not feel, at least not with your skin or your bones, is that this same invisible force also touches time. Gravity is not only a hand that pulls you downward, it is also a hand that presses gently against the rhythm of your hours. The stronger the gravity, the slower time flows. You breathe in slowly. You breathe out. Your heart beats like a quiet metronome. To you, these seconds feel natural, unchanged. Yet if someone watches you from far above, perhaps from a mountain peak, or from the height of an orbiting satellite, your time flows more slowly than theirs. Your hours are stretched, heavy under the weight of Earth's pull. This idea is almost impossible to sense in daily life, because the effect is so small. A clock on a tall building ticks ever so slightly faster than one at the bottom. A watch on a plane runs ahead of one left on the ground. We cannot notice it without delicate instruments. And yet, the effect is real, proven again and again by the most precise atomic clocks humanity has built. It is called gravitational time dilation, a soft stretching of hours caused by the very fabric of spacetime curving around mass. Imagine spacetime as a great, flexible sheet, like a trampoline stretched wide. Place a heavy ball in the middle, and the sheet bends inward. Smaller balls rolled across the surface spiral gently toward the heavier one. This is how planets hold moons, how the sun holds Earth, how galaxies hold their stars. Gravity is not an invisible string, but the bending of the sheet itself. Now imagine that clocks are also tied to this sheet. When the sheet curves deeply around a massive object, the clocks resting there slow their rhythm. Their ticks stretch further apart. Their hours lengthen. Time, just like space, bends with the curve. Think of an apple falling from a tree. For centuries, this was the symbol of gravity, a force pulling things downward. But Einstein showed that it is not a pull in the usual sense. It is the apple following the natural curve of spacetime itself. And along that curve, time itself runs more slowly. Picture yourself near a massive planet, one far heavier than Earth. The weight of its presence presses on you, though you cannot see it. Your watch ticks, your heart beats, your breaths flow, and yet, compared to someone far from the planet, your moments are stretched, slowed. Hours that feel ordinary to you pass differently for them. You are not broken, not delayed. You are simply living in time's heavier current. Now take this thought deeper. Imagine standing at the foot of a mountain while a friend climbs to the summit. Both of you carry identical clocks. At the end of the day, when you meet again, your clocks will not agree. The clock at the summit, resting farther from the pull of Earth's mass, will have ticked a little faster. The difference is tiny, fractions of a second, but it is there. The higher you climb, the more lightly time flows. In this way, the world is filled with countless, gentle disagreements between clocks. A clock in a valley and a clock on a peak. A clock in your pocket and a clock orbiting far above. None is wrong, all are true to their place in gravity's embrace. This truth is not only poetic, it is practical. Our GPS satellites carry atomic clocks that must be corrected for both speed and gravity. Without these adjustments, your phone's navigation would drift wildly, placing you miles from your true position. Each time you use a map, you are relying on the gravity of hours, woven quietly into the system. There is a deeper wonder still. If you approach something unimaginably massive, like a black hole, the slowing becomes extreme. From far away, a clock falling toward its surface appears to freeze, its last tick stretched into eternity. To an outside observer, time itself halts at the event horizon. Yet for the traveler falling inward, time continues normally. Seconds pass. Heartbeats flow. Both perspectives are true, though they seem impossible to reconcile. This paradox reminds you that time is not absolute. It is woven into space, curved and bent by mass and motion. What feels steady to you may appear stretched to another. And far from being frightening, this is deeply comforting. It means that time is not brittle. It is flexible, alive, adapting to the universe's great architecture. You take another slow breath. Feel the weight of your body against the chair, the bed, the ground beneath you. That weight is gravity's touch. It is not only holding you, it is shaping your time, ever so slightly, so subtly you will never notice. Yet you are always living in its influence. Think of the earth itself, spinning beneath your feet, tugging at your hours. Think of the moon, pulling gently at the oceans, raising and lowering tides in rhythm. Think of the sun, whose vast mass curves space-time so strongly that even its light bends around it. Every motion, every orbit, every day, is shaped not only by gravity's pull but by the way gravity stretches the very hours you live through. Your body is a clock. Your heartbeat is a clock. Your breath, in and out, is a clock. All of them flow within the currents of space-time, affected by the gravity of your place. You are not separate from the universe's fabric. You are woven into it, like a thread in a vast, shimmering tapestry. And just as threads bend with the fabric, so do you. Perhaps you find comfort in knowing that time is not the same everywhere. That there is no universal master clock to which you must align. That your hours are yours, unique to your place in the cosmos. Your seconds are not too fast or too slow, they are exactly as they should be. As sleep draws nearer, imagine this: you are lying at the bottom of a deep well, looking up at the night sky. A clock rests beside you. At the surface, another clock ticks. To you, both seem steady, ordinary. Yet when compared, the clock beside you ticks more slowly, slowed by the depth of gravity's embrace. You do not feel it, but it is real. The gravity of hours is quiet, patient, unseen. It bends time not with violence but with tenderness, like a gentle hand pressing against the flow of seconds. And as you rest tonight, you live within this bending, your moments stretched softly by the weight of the earth, your dreams carried along currents you cannot sense. The chapter closes with this thought: gravity does not only shape the paths of planets and stars. It shapes the very rhythm of your life. Every second you live is a second bent by mass, curved by presence, stretched by the embrace of gravity. The hours you carry are not universal. They are yours. And as you drift deeper, you feel the pull of gravity not only on your body, but on your time itself. Slow, steady, tender. Tick, tock. The gravity of hours carries you gently into the next chapter, where Einstein's gentle puzzles will open new doors to this mystery. The air is still, and the world feels steady beneath your feet. Yet, even here on Earth, time itself is not perfectly steady. Two clocks, resting quietly in different places, one atop a mountain peak, the other deep within a valley, do not keep time in perfect agreement. Though their hands sweep across familiar hours, one runs ever so slightly faster, and the other just a little slower. The difference is invisible to your eyes, but it is written into the fabric of the earth, carved by the pull of gravity itself. You may imagine the mountain clock, kissed by sunlight, breathing in thin, cool air, ticking just a touch ahead of its sibling below. The valley clock, surrounded by the heavier embrace of Earth's pull, ticks more slowly, weighed down by the unseen hand of gravity. This gentle imbalance is not a flaw, but a truth whispered by Einstein's general theory of relativity. Let us wander slowly into this truth, step by step, as if descending into the valley and climbing again to the mountain. Let us notice how gravity bends not just the paths of rivers and stones but the very rhythm of time flowing through your veins. The weight of gravity on time on Earth. Gravity is not merely a force pulling apples downward or holding oceans in place. It is also the silent sculptor of time. Gravity curves space-time, and in that curved arena, clocks beat differently depending on how deeply they sit in gravity's well. A clock in the valley, where gravity is slightly stronger, must climb uphill against this curve. Its moments stretch longer, its seconds tick slower. Meanwhile, on the mountain, where gravity's hand is lighter, the clock is freed, ever so slightly, to run more quickly. The difference is unimaginably tiny, fractions of a second over years, yet it is real. You could live your whole life unaware that your watch on a mountain peak and your watch by the shore would gently drift apart. But scientists, with exquisitely precise instruments, have caught this dance. They have watched time itself stretch and compress under gravity's spell. And what about you, lying here now, breathing slowly? Your body, your cells, your heartbeat, all are clocks of a kind, and all are shaped, invisibly, by the ground beneath you. A gentle journey, from valley to peak. Imagine you are walking from the bottom of a valley toward a mountaintop. Each step upward lightens your body from gravity's embrace, and with that lightening, your personal time runs a little faster. It is as though time itself rewards your climb, giving you an invisible bonus. Yet the bonus is small enough that you do not feel it. You age no faster in any way you can sense. And still, the equations whisper the truth. With every meter upward, the ticking of your body's internal clock shifts. Your breath, steady and calm, is part of this rhythm. The blood coursing through your veins is part of it. You are not separate from these laws of the universe. You are a participant, a living clock synchronized to the earth, and yet, unique in each position you occupy. Time and the heartbeat of the earth itself is uneven. Mountains rise, valleys fall, and oceans cradle deep trenches. This unevenness means that time itself does not pass identically everywhere. The surface of the earth is like a vast quilt of different rhythms, stitched together by the invisible thread of gravity. Scientists call this phenomenon gravitational time dilation. The term may sound heavy, but you can think of it as a melody slowed or quickened depending on how close you stand to the earth's heart. A note stretched in the valley, a note quickened on the peak, both playing together in the great symphony of time. Even satellites circling far above must account for this. Their clocks, freed from Earth's deep gravity, tick faster than clocks on the ground. Without correcting for this, the GPS in your phone would drift by kilometers each day. What feels like a simple map guiding your steps is, in truth, a harmony of clocks across valleys, mountaintops, and orbiting skies. A night thought, your own time as you lie here, perhaps you imagine your own life as a valley and a mountain. At times, you feel pulled down by heaviness, by gravity's invisible hands, and time seems to slow. At other times, you feel lighter, freer, and the days seem to pass more quickly. Though this is not the literal bending of space-time, it is the way your mind experiences the rhythm of time, sometimes heavy, sometimes free. The physics and the feelings echo each other, like reflections in still water. The universe speaks in the same language, whether it is in equations etched on a blackboard or in the quiet pace of your day. So when you breathe, and when you dream, know that even the ground beneath you shapes the tempo of your hours. And when you wake, the mountain and the valley continue their silent disagreement, their clocks quietly out of step, while the earth spins steadily on. A gentle closing thought: the clocks disagree, but they do not fight. They simply express the truth of where they are. Each one follows the laws of the universe faithfully, and together, they reveal a deeper harmony. Time itself is woven with gravity. Close your eyes and let that idea settle. The mountain clock and the valley clock are not enemies, but partners in a cosmic dance. Their differences make visible the shape of space-time, the silent sculpture of gravity that cradles you at every moment. And as you drift into sleep, imagine yourself resting in both places at once, on the peak, where time runs fast with the stars, and in the valley, where time is deep and slow like a river. Tomorrow, we will rise higher still, and follow time as it bends and shifts far beyond the Earth's surface. Far above the comfort of the mountains and valleys, higher even than the clouds that wander the sky, there are paths carved by the quiet flight of satellites. They circle the Earth faithfully, moving with grace through the thin veil of space, and with every orbit they carry a secret. Their clocks do not agree with the clocks that rest in your pocket, on your desk, or by your bedside. The difference is delicate, hidden in the rhythm of nanoseconds, yet it is powerful enough to shape the way you walk through the world. If you have ever followed a map on your phone, if you have ever watched a small dot guide you along a road, you have witnessed this difference without knowing it. For those satellites, suspended above Earth's pull, time itself flows more quickly than it does here on the ground. Their clocks, freed from the heavy hand of gravity, race ahead, just slightly, but enough to matter. Each orbiting machine must be corrected, its moments adjusted, so that when it speaks to your device, the directions remain true. Without that correction, the map would soon wander away from reality, leading you astray by miles, then by entire landscapes. You might imagine the satellites as lanterns drifting high in the night sky, each carrying a clock that ticks like a heartbeat. Their heartbeats are faster than yours, because they live farther from the Earth's weight, but they are also slower in another sense, because they race at tremendous speed. Einstein's twin truths meet here, in this quiet contradiction. Special relativity slows their time because of motion. General relativity hastens it because of weaker gravity. The two effects collide, balancing in a delicate equation, leaving the satellite's clock slightly ahead. To keep harmony, the engineers on Earth must weave these two effects together, making adjustments so the great network of clocks continues to sing in tune. It is a strange and humbling thought, that the directions guiding your simplest walk to a cafe or a friend's home depend upon relativity. You are not just holding a phone. You are holding the combined whisper of Einstein's insights, the ticking of clocks orbiting far above, the subtle bending of spacetime itself. Your daily journey is cradled in the arms of cosmic truth, though it feels as ordinary as taking a few steps down the street. And yet, even more quietly, the same truth touches you now as you rest. Your body, still and calm, does not orbit the Earth in the way a satellite does, but your time is still part of the same woven fabric. You live in the valley of gravity, bound to the planet's surface, and so your seconds are stretched differently from those lanterns in the sky. You are a participant in this dance, whether you walk through a forest path, lie in your bed, or gaze up at the night stars. If you close your eyes and picture yourself beside one of those satellites, floating above the world, you can feel the contrast. The Earth is blue and curved beneath you, clouds drifting like brushstrokes, and your own clock ticks differently now. You are lighter, freer, your seconds running ahead of the ones you left behind on the surface. Time itself has changed, simply because of where you are. No effort required, no magic spell cast, just the natural truth of the universe unfolding around you. You may imagine your twin, if you had one, staying behind on Earth while you drift in orbit. Days would pass, and when you finally returned, your twin's watch and your own would disagree. The difference might be small, but it would be undeniable, written into the very gears of the clocks. And so the story of time dilation becomes personal. It is not just an idea for scientists or astronauts. It is something that lives in every moment, waiting quietly in the background of your life. Think again of those satellites, tirelessly circling above, sending signals that cross vast distances to find your hand. They are messengers of a deeper rhythm, guardians of a truth that Einstein uncovered. Their clocks, and your clock, and every clock in the universe, each follow their own path. The beauty lies in their harmony, a harmony that requires careful tending, but one that allows you to move confidently in your world. The night deepens, and perhaps you feel yourself floating, as if gravity's pull has softened. In your imagination you rise, gently, through the air, above rooftops, above hills, into the dark quiet of space where the satellites live. You see them gliding, each with a heartbeat of time, each holding its own truth. You feel the way your seconds change as you drift higher, lighter, freer. And then you return, softly, to the ground, to your own gravity, to your own slow and steady rhythm. The lesson lingers, like a soft echo. Time is not absolute, it bends with place and motion. The satellites whisper this truth to you every day, and every night, whether you notice or not. And as you slip closer to sleep, you carry that whisper with you, a reminder that even in the smallest details of your life, the great laws of the cosmos are at work, holding you, guiding you, and weaving you into the endless fabric of time. Imagine the world not as a solid globe beneath your feet, but as a giant clock tower, every part of it ticking in its own quiet way. Down in the valley, high on the peaks, deep within the oceans, and far above in the orbit of satellites, each clock whispers its own rhythm. For centuries, we believed time was uniform, that seconds were the same everywhere, that hours ticked faithfully in step no matter where you stood. But the deeper we looked, the more the universe revealed a softer truth: clocks disagree. They always have, and they always will, because time is not a rigid ruler. Time is alive, flowing like water across uneven ground, shaped by gravity and motion alike. If you could gather every clock in the world and place them side by side, from the smallest wristwatch to the most precise atomic clock, you would find a hidden orchestra. The tick of each one would not match perfectly. Some would lag, some would hurry, each following the subtle pull of space-time at its location. To your eyes, they would look synchronized, but the instruments of physics tell us otherwise. With enough patience, with enough precision, you would see the spread, the delicate disagreement written into the fabric of the earth itself. Think of your own body as one of these clocks. Your heartbeat is steady, your breath rises and falls, your cells divide and repair with their own internal rhythms. These processes are not outside of physics. They too are bound to time's shifting pace. If you lived your life on a mountaintop, your body would move through moments slightly faster than if you lived at sea level. You would never notice the difference, it is far too small, yet physics insists it is there. A lifetime on the peak, a lifetime in the valley, and the two would not end at the same instant. The mountain dweller would have raced just ahead, by fractions of a second, into the future. Such a difference feels invisible, almost poetic, yet technology has forced us to care. When engineers built atomic clocks sensitive enough to measure time within billionths of a second, they discovered that lifting one just a few centimeters off the ground made it tick faster than its twin below. It was as if the earth itself confessed its secret to them, that time is not one thing, but many. Each position, each motion, each height in the gravity well, writes its own tempo. What was once a philosophical dream became a measured fact, undeniable and clear. The global positioning system, circling above you at every moment, depends on this truth. Those satellites must be adjusted because their clocks would otherwise drift so far from ours that they would misplace your footsteps by entire miles. The harmony of relativity is not a matter of imagination but of necessity. Without it, planes could not navigate the skies, ships would lose their courses, and even your daily walks would be guided astray. The universe does not let you ignore its subtle laws. It insists you pay attention, even when the details are delicate beyond your senses. And so you find yourself lying here, eyes closed, thinking of all the clocks that beat across the world. They are not just machines on desks or towers or in orbit. They are woven into the very atoms around you. The vibrations of cesium, the oscillations of quartz, the rotation of the earth itself, each one is a measure, a voice in the great choir of time. And none of them are in perfect agreement. It is a comforting thought in its own way, because it means imperfection is natural, written into the fabric of existence itself. Harmony does not mean sameness. Harmony means balance among difference, the weaving together of many voices into one living song. If you drift further into imagination, you might see time itself as a river running downhill. Each clock is a leaf upon that river, carried along at its own pace depending on where it floats. A leaf in the shallows moves slowly, pressed against the rocks. A leaf in the swift current speeds forward with ease. Yet both are carried by the same water, the same river. They are different, but they are connected. So too are the clocks of the earth, the satellites above, and the heartbeat within your chest. Different, yet joined in one unbroken current. This realization brings with it a gentle humility. You are not the keeper of time. You are a passenger within it, carried like the leaf, surrounded by countless others. The seconds you count, the hours you live, are not universal currency. They are local, personal, shaped by the unseen curves of space-time around you. And yet, despite this relativity, you find meaning in them. You wake and sleep, you work and rest, you love and remember, all within the seconds of your own clock, never worrying whether they match perfectly with the seconds of another. The universe allows you to live as though time were simple, while quietly weaving its complexities in the background. And in that background lies the wonder. Imagine an astronaut aboard the International Space Station, circling the Earth 16 times a day. Their clock does not match yours, even though they are still part of the same species, the same planet. They will return slightly younger than they would have if they had stayed on the ground, their seconds stretched differently by speed and altitude. The disagreement is real, but it is also beautiful. It tells us that time is flexible, responsive, alive. As your mind quiets, you can hold on to this image, an endless sky of clocks, each ticking differently, each true in its own place. They are not wrong. They are not broken. They are simply honest about where they are, about how they move, about how the universe cradles them. Their disagreement is the signature of relativity, the proof that Einstein's vision was not an abstraction but a living truth. And so, as sleep draws nearer, let yourself drift into that vision. You are a clock, lying in the gentle valley of Earth's gravity, ticking at your own pace. Far above, satellites spin faster. On the mountains, time races ahead. In the depths of the ocean, time lingers. All together, they weave the great fabric of reality, imperfect yet harmonious. You are part of this fabric, inseparable from it, carried forward by its current. Let that thought hold you, softly, as the minutes blur and your breathing steadies, and know that the universe itself is keeping time with you, one quiet tick after another. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine two people, born at the same instant, their first cries echoing into the same air. They are twins, mirrors of one another, sharing the same beginning. Now, picture one twin stepping into a spaceship, its engines trembling, ready to break free from the Earth. The other remains behind, standing quietly on the ground, watching. The engines ignite, the ship rises, and with that, the story of their clocks begins to diverge. The twin in space lives within motion unlike anything you have ever felt. Their body, their heartbeat, their every second is pulled into the speed of the ship. At first it feels the same, a second is still a second, a breath is still a breath. But in the language of relativity, time itself bends. The faster they move, the slower their clock ticks when compared to the twin left on Earth. This is not imagination. It is not a trick. It is the universe obeying its laws, as faithfully as rivers flow downhill and stars burn in the night. For the twin on Earth, life continues in familiar rhythms. Days stretch and fold into nights, seasons drift from summer to autumn to winter, and their clock ticks in harmony with the world around them. They cannot sense their siblings' difference. If they look up at the sky and imagine them, the stars seem unchanged, the moon moves in its old patterns. And yet, a quiet truth unfolds between them, they are no longer sharing the same time. One is walking the slower path, one the quicker. You may wonder how such a thing could ever be tested, and yet, in small ways, it has been. Astronauts who spend months circling the Earth aboard the International Space Station return with their clocks, their bodies, their cells, even their very DNA, slightly younger than they would have been had they remained on the ground. The difference is tiny, fractions of a second, but it is real, recorded, and undeniable. Time itself is stretched by their journey. In the grander vision, if one twin could race near the speed of light and return, the difference would be staggering. The traveler would step out of their ship still young, while the sibling left behind would have aged into another era entirely. There is something deeply humbling in this thought. We imagine time as the great equalizer, something no one can escape, a river that carries us all at the same pace. Yet here the universe whispers otherwise, your pace depends on your path. The clock of your life is bound to your journey, to your speed, to your place within gravity's embrace. Time is not one rhythm but many, and each of us dances to the version given to us by where and how we exist. As you breathe softly, you might imagine yourself as one of these twins. You lie here, steady and calm, while another version of you departs, racing through the cosmos. They sail past planets, glide between stars, and yet every heartbeat they carry is stretched thin, slowed against yours. When they finally return, their face is unchanged, their skin still youthful, while yours bears the marks of years past. You meet each other again, but no longer as equals in time. One has remained within the familiar clock of Earth, the other has slipped ahead into a different rhythm of the universe. This story, though it sounds like science fiction, is pure reality. It does not require magic, only speed and distance. The equations that govern it are written into the very structure of spacetime. You are already living within them, even if you never leave the ground. The satellites above your head, the planes crossing the sky, the astronauts floating in orbit, all of them carry clocks that disagree with yours in tiny but meaningful ways. The twin paradox, as it is called, is not a paradox at all. It is the natural unfolding of relativity, the way time bends and shapes itself when confronted with motion and gravity. And if you reflect on it more quietly, you may see something personal in this as well. Each of us lives a slightly different time, even here on Earth. Our days feel shorter or longer depending on our journeys, our emotions, our choices. Time stretches when you wait for something you long for. Time shrinks when you are lost in joy. Though the physics of relativity deals in equations and nanoseconds, your own lived experience echoes it in a softer, human way. You and I, we are all twins of a kind, walking through different versions of time even as we share the same world. Think of how comforting it is to know that the laws of physics make room for such difference. There is no single, absolute clock above us all. Instead, there is a fabric, woven from countless strands of individual time, each true in its own right. The twin who stays and the twin who leaves are not wrong in their disagreement. They are simply living in different parts of the fabric, honoring the rules of the universe where they are. And so, as you drift toward sleep, imagine yourself carried by this fabric. Imagine that you, too, could climb aboard a ship and glide through space, your seconds stretching softly, your years unfolding gently, while the earth spins on without you. Imagine returning to find that time has written different stories for those you love and for yourself. Imagine that moment of reunion, strange and bittersweet, when two rhythms meet again after diverging. Let that thought cradle you. You are a twin in your own life, one self bound to Earth's familiar clock, another dreaming self already drifting through the stars, living by a different rhythm. They will meet again when you wake, united in one body, one mind, one flow of time. But for now, let them drift apart in your imagination, one resting, one traveling, both true. The universe itself allows for this difference, and so should you. Time, after all, is not rigid. It is soft, pliable, responsive. It bends for speed, it bends for gravity, and it bends for the stories we live. Tonight, as you surrender to sleep, remember the twins, remember their journey, and know that you, too, are part of this greater dance, your seconds flowing differently depending on where you dream, how you move, and how deeply you allow yourself to rest. Imagine lying beneath a vast sky, where the stars twinkle like distant lanterns, each one carrying its own secret rhythm of time. Some are ancient, their light traveling across billions of years to reach you, and some are young, still forming their first bright sparks. Time stretches differently for each of them, depending on how fast they move, how massive they are, and how gravity bends the space around them. Yet here you lie, on your own small planet, feeling the seconds of your heartbeat, the soft rise and fall of your breath, and the quiet unfolding of hours. Above you, the universe moves in ways you cannot touch, yet it touches you. Light from distant stars curves gently as it passes near massive galaxies, carrying information not just about color and brightness, but about the way time has been shaped along its journey. You are witnessing the past and present together, a living reminder that time is not uniform. 1 second for a star near a black hole can stretch into many for an observer far away, just as your seconds flow differently from someone orbiting Earth. Think now of yourself drifting gently through this cosmic sea. Each moment is a drop of water in an immense, flowing river. Some drops swell quickly, carried along by speed. Some linger, slowed by gravity's embrace. And you, lying here in the quiet, are part of this river, your own drop moving at its unique pace. You are not separate from the universe's grand design. You are carried in its currents, measured by its tides, and embraced by its silent rhythms. Now, imagine the effect of extreme gravity, such as that near a neutron star, so dense that a teaspoon of its material would weigh billions of tons. Here, time itself stretches dramatically. A single second near the surface could be years for someone far away, untouched by such gravity. To an observer on Earth, a person near that star might appear frozen, moving almost imperceptibly. Yet for the person near the star, life continues normally, moments flowing naturally. The difference is not imagination. It is fact, a reality dictated by the curvature of space-time and the strength of gravity. You may find it comforting to think of time this way. It is not rigid, not absolute. It adapts, bends, stretches, and compresses, responding to motion, mass, and energy. The stars above, the planets, the satellites circling Earth, and even your own body all follow the same laws. You are part of a grand design, where time is flexible and personal, yet perfectly harmonious in its greatest symphony. Consider how this truth touches your daily life, even if subtly. Every GPS signal, every satellite-guided map, every clock in space must account for the bending of time. Without these adjustments, your navigation would fail. You are unknowingly depending on the understanding of time's pliability each time you find your way through a city street or across a continent. The universe is whispering its secrets to you constantly, and you are part of the chorus, whether you notice or not. Picture the night sky again. There is a black hole in the distance, a region where gravity is so intense that even light cannot escape. To you, its surface appears dark and still. But closer, near the event horizon, time stretches almost infinitely. A clock falling toward the black hole slows as it approaches, each tick becoming longer, until it seems to freeze from your perspective. Yet the falling clock experiences each moment normally, seconds flowing as they always have. Both experiences are correct, both real. The universe allows multiple truths to coexist, and you are witness to their subtle dance. Your mind may wander to yourself, lying in bed, observing this cosmic ballet in your imagination. You are calm, steady, secure in the slow ticking of your own clock, while countless other clocks in the universe beat differently. Some move faster, some slower, yet all are synchronized within the grand structure of spacetime. It is a comforting thought: you are part of something vast, yet intimate. You are a thread in the tapestry of time, connected to every star, planet, and orbiting satellite. You may wonder how it feels to actually travel through these differences. If you could approach a black hole, if you could orbit a neutron star, your seconds would stretch, your years slow. To anyone watching from afar, your movements would appear paused, frozen in time. Yet within yourself, life would continue in the familiar rhythm of breathing, thinking, and dreaming. Time is not lost. It is not stolen. It is simply personal, shaped by where you are and how you move. As you drift further into sleep, imagine following a beam of light from a distant star. Its journey took billions of years to reach you, and along the way, it passed near massive galaxies and clusters, each bending its path, each stretching its own measure of time. Yet here it is, arriving now, in this precise moment. You are witnessing the universe's patience, its meticulous orchestration of seconds and centuries, of motion and gravity, all converging in the soft light that reaches your eyes. Your breath slows. Your heartbeat finds a gentle rhythm. You lie here, part of a universe that is flexible, patient, and alive. Time is not a single river but a network of streams, each moving at its own pace, yet all connected in a larger flow. Your seconds, your moments, your dreams, they are part of this vast tapestry, influenced by motion, gravity, and the cosmic ballet of the universe. And as your eyelids grow heavy, remember this: time is not uniform, but it is kind. It moves with you, for you, carrying your experiences gently, stretching and compressing without judgment, always guiding you forward. You are not lost in its currents, you are held. Each tick of your clock is a beat in the symphony of spacetime, each breath a note in the music of the cosmos. And tonight, as you drift deeper into sleep, you are in perfect harmony with the universe itself. Imagine standing on the edge of night, where the sky stretches endlessly above you, a canvas of stars, each one pulsing in its own rhythm. You feel the gentle pull of earth beneath your feet, the familiar tug of gravity holding you in place, yet your mind drifts upward, toward the vastness above. Here, the secrets of time feel close, as though you can almost touch them, almost hear them ticking in the spaces between stars. You recall all the clocks you have imagined so far: the valley clock, slow and patient; the mountaintop clock, racing ahead; the orbiting satellites, moving with grace above Earth; the twin in the spaceship, racing against its sibling; and now, every star, every galaxy, every beam of light carrying its own unique pulse. Each clock tells a different story, yet all follow the same cosmic laws. Time is not one thing, it is a symphony of countless rhythms, flowing, bending, stretching, and folding across space. Breathe slowly and feel yourself as part of this vast network. Your heartbeat is a clock, your breath is a clock, your very presence is a marker in time. You are connected to every atom, every star, every satellite orbiting high above. Each second you experience is unique, influenced by gravity, by motion, by the very shape of spacetime around you. And yet, in this incredible diversity, there is harmony. There is balance. There is rhythm, and you are woven into it. Think of a photon, a particle of light, leaving a distant star billions of years ago. It travels across the universe, passing near galaxies, black holes, and clusters of matter, each one bending its path, stretching the time it experiences. And now, it reaches you. The moment you see that light is the culmination of its entire journey, of its unique measure of time. And in that instant, your clock meets its clock, your heartbeat meets its pulse. You are part of the same universal rhythm, even though your seconds are shaped differently. Now imagine the universe as a great ocean, with currents flowing in all directions. Some currents rush forward, some drift slowly, and some swirl in eddies and whirlpools. Your life, your moments, are like a leaf floating gently on one of these currents. You are carried along, sometimes faster, sometimes slower, sometimes encountering gentle bends that stretch or compress your sense of time. And all the while, the rest of the ocean moves around you, each leaf in its own rhythm, yet connected to the whole. Gravity, speed, and mass are the currents of this ocean. They shape your journey, bending your moments, stretching your seconds, and sometimes compressing them. And yet, you move with grace, carried effortlessly by the universe, held in its careful hands. You do not notice the subtle differences unless you have the tools to measure them, yet they are present in every moment, as real as the pull of the earth beneath your feet. Perhaps you feel small in comparison to this vast expanse. The stars are distant, the galaxies immense, and time stretches endlessly in ways you cannot see. Yet in this vastness, you are not insignificant. Your seconds, your minutes, your hours are meaningful, each one a note in the grand symphony of the cosmos. You are both fleeting and eternal, a single thread woven into the infinite tapestry of time. Imagine drifting further into this thought, your mind floating among the stars. You encounter black holes, where time stretches almost infinitely. You pass near neutron stars, dense and heavy, where seconds could become years for an observer far away. You see the effects of relativity in motion, speed, and gravity, all around you. Yet within yourself, your moments continue normally, your seconds ticking with the steady rhythm of your own body. The universe is vast, flexible, and patient, and it holds you gently within its currents. And now, you can reflect on the journey of this narration. You have traveled from the valleys and peaks of Earth, to satellites above, to twins in space, to stars and black holes far away. Each chapter has revealed a layer of time's gentle bending, its quiet disagreements, and its infinite possibilities. And through it all, you have moved with it, carried along by the same universal rhythm, breathing, thinking, dreaming. Let yourself sink into the understanding that time is personal, flexible, and beautiful. It is not a prison, not a strict master, not a rigid ruler. It is a companion, a river, a melody. You move within it, gently guided by its invisible currents, always part of the grander flow. The universe does not rush you. It does not judge you. It holds you, softly, in its embrace. As your eyelids grow heavy and the room around you softens into shadow, imagine the stars blinking slowly above. Each one carries its own history, its own seconds, its own rhythm. And your life, your clock, your heartbeat, joins with them, harmonizing gently in the infinite orchestra of time. The earth holds you, gravity shapes your seconds, the stars light your imagination, and the universe hums its quiet, eternal song. And now, drifting fully into sleep, you understand that time itself is a gift. Every moment is yours, unique and precious, shaped by the cosmos, and yet intimately yours. You are part of the vast, flexible, patient universe. You are carried forward gently by its currents, every second a beat in the great symphony of existence. Sleep now, knowing that you are cradled by time itself, and that the universe moves with you, softly, endlessly, beautifully.